Hello, everybody, and welcome to Flag Football Nation. I'm Coach Adam, and today we're going to be going over our first offense. This is the first video of Flag Football Nation, and it's going to be the first part of the new series that I'm going to be coming out with over the next couple weeks. And the first scheme we're going to be looking at, as you can tell on the screen, is why you should run the air raid offense in flag football. And so I've brought this presentation for you. This is the introduction video for the new series. And this is what we'll be going over today. So why you should run the air raid offense in flag football. So about me, my name is Coach Adam, and I've been coaching flag football for 7 years in the greater Nashville area, and have been coaching my adaptation of the air raid offense for the past 3 years. During that time, I primarily have coached on 5-on-5 flag football. But for the past 2 years, I've moved to a league that is now 6-on-6. So that's a little bit about me. What is the air raid offense? The air raid offense is a pass-first spread offense that is designed to stretch out the defense horizontally and contains a select number of concepts to keep things simple and allows the offense to play fast. The air raid offense is more of a philosophy than an actual offense. The philosophy is about repetition over and over and over again so that the play has been mastered. It's about getting the ball to the guy who can score, and it's not about tricking the defense, it's about execution and repetition. That's a quote from Mike Leach. And so we'll be going over a little bit of the history of the air raid for those who don't know much about it, and then we'll get into why you should run it in flag football. Air raid innovators and influencers. The air raid has gone through multiple stages since its birth in the 1980s. It was created by Hal Mumme and Mike Leach while they were both coaching at Iowa Wesleyan University, which was an NAIA school. As the offense would move from NAIA, it would move to Division II at Valdosta State, and then to the SEC in Kentucky. And then eventually it would go into the NFL. And currently it is through all scapes, high school, college, the NFL. It's on all levels. You're seeing it in middle school, and hopefully what we can do is we can bring it into flag football. So Hal Mumme was the inventor of the air raid offense. He started his coaching career as a head coach at Iowa Wesleyan University after being the offensive coordinator at UTEP and then going on to some other Texas high schools as well. So he went to Iowa Wesleyan and crafted the air raid with Mike Leach, and then moved on to Valdosta State, Kentucky. And then after Kentucky, he would move to southeastern Louisiana, New Mexico State, and then be the offensive coordinator at SMU. And then he would bounce around for a couple different Division III schools and high schools. And what he's most known for is obviously being the inventor of the air raid. The air raid was originally operated out of what we call a pro-style set, which is 2 split backs, a tight end, and 2 receivers, and he used 21 personnel pro sets until the mid-90s whenever the air raid was developed as a spread offense. He was influenced by Lavelle Edwards at BYU, also as Norm Chow as well, and so he would take trips to BYU while at UTEP, and then also as a Texas high school coach, and learn the different pass patterns that they had at BYU. The other inventor of the air raid was Mike Leach. Mike Leach started out as the OC and offensive line coach at Iowa Wesleyan with Hal Mumme. He also went with Hal Mumme to Valdosta State as the offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach, as well as the quarterbacks, and then moved to the offensive line from 94 to 96. He would then follow Hal Mumme as well to Kentucky and be the offensive coordinator and the quarterbacks coach there, and then would branch away from Mumme and join Bob Stoops at Oklahoma, where he was the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach there for a year. He then would take the head coaching job at Texas Tech and would lead them to probably their best play in program history, as well as beating Texas. And that 2008 year was truly the crown jewel at his tenure at Texas Tech. After being fired from Texas Tech, he went on to Washington State and would be at Washington State from 2012 to 2019. Obviously, the most famous year with Gardner Minshew, who is now a quarterback for the Oakland Raiders. And then would move from Washington State to Mississippi State until his death in 2022. Leach made the full progression to the 10 personnel, 4 wide receivers, and 1 halfback set that you see today, as well as foundations on what the concepts are of the air raid offense. And then also would add his other tweaks that you don't normally see other than the film of his offense. Some other innovators are Dana Holgorsen, who was a former player at Iowa Wesleyan and would then become the OC and inside wide receivers coach for Mike Leach at Texas Tech, and then would branch off to Houston, where he made Case Keenum the all-time leading passer in FBS history. He would move on to Oklahoma State and then would go to West Virginia. If you remember, Tavon Austin and Geno Smith, they were running Holgorsen's air raid offense. He would then go back to Houston and be there for 4 years. And then is most recently the offensive coordinator at Nebraska with Dylan Raiola now. What he did was he incorporated more 2-back sets, or 20 personnel, 2 backs, and 3 wide receivers, and then would include 11 personnel and have tight ends in it as well. He was also the first air raid coach to really incorporate RPOs into his offense. That's more something you see more relevant nowadays. And so that's the key about Dana Holgorsen. Cliff Kingsbury was the offensive coordinator at Houston for Case Keenum's last year, and then became the offensive coordinator for the Texas A&M Aggies, where Johnny Manziel would become Johnny Football. After that year, he would become the head coach at Texas Tech, his alma mater, where he would show his air raid offense with Patrick Mahomes and would then allow Mahomes to set the all-time yardage record with 819 yards of total offense. After Texas Tech, he would become the first air raid coach to be part of the NFL with the Arizona Cardinals from 2019 to 2022. And then now currently he is the Washington Commanders offensive coordinator. He's the first air raid coach to become a head coach in the NFL, and also incorporated wide zone schemes mixed with air raid concepts to achieve the pro style. He's very good friends with Sean McVay, and so he was able to incorporate those schemes to mix well with the pro game. And then finally, Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley started out as a quarterback for Mike Leach at Texas Tech, became a graduate assistant, and would be on Leach's staff until 2010, 2013, where he became the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at East Carolina. He would retain that role in 2014, but would also add the assistant head coach title. He would then become the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for Oklahoma, and then would become the head coach of Oklahoma, where you see Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray both have Heisman Trophy winning seasons back-to-back and would become first overall picks back-to-back. He is now currently the coach of USC, where you see Caleb Williams has now become the number 1 pick as well. So he has 3 quarterbacks that have gone number 1 overall in the NFL draft. And so Riley is different because he incorporated more gap scheme runs like his baby, GT counter. He also almost entirely uses 11 personnel sets and added new concepts such as shallow sting and the shallow screen that you now see in his game. All right, so the advantages of the air raid. The air raid offense is a pass-first offense, which is perfect for the game of flag football as the game becomes more pass-happy as the age groups get older. You see on TV, the NFL recently had the NFL championships. Almost every single play was a pass play, and that is perfect for the air raid since we're going to be passing the ball more times than not anyway. Due to the air raid's philosophy, it's about getting all the playmakers the ball. This is an offense that is designed to get everyone the ball, which makes it more enjoyable for everybody. The coaches, the parents, the kids, everybody gets to touch the ball, and I think that's really important whenever you're building these kids up. And since the air raid has a small group of concepts, this allows coaches who don't have a lot of preseason practices to install and run the offense efficiently throughout the season. So, for instance, both leagues that I've had have had 3 preseason practices before their first game. And so with a small group of concepts, that has allowed us to install roughly 5 concepts before going into the first game. And we've been able to repeat and rep those plays over and over and over again so that we're actually pretty decent at it before going into the game, which I think is important since you'll be able to get the play from the start. So the disadvantages of the air raid, since the air raid is a pass-first offense, it may not be suitable for lower age groups. From my personal experience, it's not until the 9-10 age group that you're really able to depend on the pass. It seems that the 7, 8, 5, 6 and lower is more focused on the fundamentals of the game, and so you're going to see a lot more running with the ball. It's also been more relevant that those age groups aren't as focused on passing, and the players haven't really developed to be efficient passers or efficient catchers. So that can be something that is a disadvantage if you want to install this offense for a younger age group. The offense requires a quarterback which is also due to their pass-happy nature. Without a stable quarterback, this can make the offense a struggle to run. And I feel like that really explains itself. Since we're a pass-happy offense, if you don't have a decent quarterback, that's going to make things difficult. As leagues may allow play in the rain, I haven't experienced that. Usually when it rains, either we wait or they cancel the games for that day to be followed up a weekend later. I know that some leagues might allow play in the rain. Also, the league that I'm currently in is an indoor league, so I don't have to worry about that. This can hinder the run of this offense efficiently. It may limit deep shots, and you may have to focus on shallower routes. So for the coaches that are in leagues that allow play in wet weather, this may affect how you're able to run it efficiently, since we're going to be throwing the ball most of the time. Why tackle football and flag football is better for the overall experience? The players love it. I mean, the players absolutely love the fact that we're running an offense that they get to see on Saturday or Friday if they go to a high school game, and even Sundays. Every NFL team has incorporated air raid concepts onto their schemes. And so I feel whenever the players can see on TV and be like, hey, I just learned that at practice yesterday, I think that really builds some excitement and they want to come to practice. And so players learn concepts, reads, routes that they can take with them when they want to move up to those higher levels. So instead of running routes that you don't normally see, that's something that I've noticed within flag football, is that you have some of these coaches that, draw plays that don't really make a whole lot of sense as far as the route combinations and everything. And on a quarterback level, it's hard to read something that you haven't seen before. So whenever you're transitioning from flag to high school football, middle school football, youth football, you can take what you learned from the season previous and you're able to apply it to these higher levels, which I think is really important whenever we're trying to show these kids, and to enjoy the game. And so I find that a very important point. And with structured systems, it allows coaches to teach their players more efficiently and is able to focus on core techniques of the game, like how to plant your foot correctly, how to run routes correctly, instead of trying to teach everybody the offense. Whenever you're able to repeat it over and over and over and over again, you're not learning 7 new plays every practice. You're able to focus on those small little details that can really set apart everything. And so that's everything. If you haven't been to Flag Football Nation before, feel free to like, subscribe, comment any questions. Feel free to reach out, as I am more than willing to answer any questions possible. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this is something I'm going to be trying to put out over the next couple weeks, We have flag football season coming up and spring football, so I want to be able to get these videos out for anybody who wants to learn how to run this offense. Either you're an experienced coach or a new coach, or you're a parent, or even a player. You know, schemes like these can really help the overall experience for everybody. So if you like this, comment, subscribe, and I will be bringing schemes like this out soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like videos like this, there's going to be a lot more coming out. And stay tuned as we continue to go on this series. In the next video, we're going to be going over formations and personnel, and then our first play, mesh. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day.